It finally happened. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, announced on October 11, 2025, and brokered through indirect talks in Egypt, it came under the spotlight after U.S. President Donald Trump declared it part of his so-called 20-point peace framework. After 2 years of destruction, thousands of deaths, and global outrage, both sides have now agreed to stop the fighting, at least for now. The deal promises that Hamas will release all remaining hostages, about 20 people still believed to be alive, within 72 hours. In return, Israel will pull back troops and allow trucks full of food and medical supplies into Gaza without restrictions. People are already returning to the north, to towns like Gaza City, even though it's still full of rubble and risk. But let's be honest, this is not a simple peace deal. It's a political and emotional balancing act. Gaza has seen over 67,000 deaths, entire neighborhoods flattened, and an entire generation scarred. Trump is calling it his historic win, and Netanyahu is treating it like a personal victory lap. Meanwhile, international figures like Tony Blair are stepping in to plan the next phase, rebuilding Gaza under international oversight. That sounds nice on paper, but it raises hard questions. Who controls Gaza next? What happens to Hamas? Will Palestinians finally get real representation, or just another foreign-managed solution?
Here's what stands out to me. There's hope, yes, but it's fragile. People in Gaza are dancing in the streets, clinging to a sense of relief that might not last. Families in Israel are crying as hostages come home. And yet, beneath all that emotion, the hard part hasn't even started. Governance, disarmament, justice. The world loves to call these moments historic, but history only remembers what comes next. This could be a turning point, or just another short pause in a very long cycle of pain.
The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize just went to Venezuelan opposition leader María Corina Machado, and it's one of the most political prizes in years. She's been fighting for democracy against Nicolas Maduro's government, accused of rigged elections, human rights abuses, and corruption. Machado has been living underground since 2024, yet she's built a movement that refuses to die. The Nobel Committee praised her tireless work promoting democratic rights. And that's not just words, it's a message to regimes everywhere. Now, giving her the prize is more than a recognition of bravery. It's a statement. It says the world is still watching authoritarian governments. But it also exposes the divide between those who see this as a genuine act of support and those who call it political interference. Supporters in Latin America call her a hero. Critics, especially in pro-Maduro circles, say the West is using awards as tools of influence. And let's be real, both things can be true at the same time. My take? This is one of those moments when symbolism matters. The prize won't fix Venezuela's crisis overnight. It won't bring back jobs or rebuild homes, but it gives people something to rally around, a sign that the global spotlight hasn't turned away. And that matters when you live under a system that tries to silence you. It also fits into a bigger pattern. As more countries tilt toward strongman politics, voices like Machado's remind us that democracy still has defenders. Awards don't make revolutions, but they keep conversations alive. And sometimes, that's enough to spark change.
Just when people thought trade tensions had cooled, President Donald Trump reignited them with a huge announcement on October 11, 2025. A 100% tariff on all Chinese imports, every single one. Along with that, he placed new export controls on U.S. technologies, especially chips and components tied to national security. It's an aggressive move, and it instantly rattled global markets. The dollar dipped, stocks fell, and everyone started asking the same question. Are we heading into a new economic war? The White House says it's about protecting American workers and reducing trade deficits. But the scale of this decision makes it more than economic policy. It's a geopolitical signal. China called it economic bullying, and they're not wrong to see it as a challenge to their influence. Tariffs like this affect everything: electronics, rare earth minerals, machinery, even the cost of everyday products. In a world already dealing with inflation, this can make things harder for everyone, not just Americans. Meanwhile, countries like India are watching closely. They might benefit if companies shift manufacturing away from China, but they could also face new export pressures. Here's the truth as I see it. This move isn't just about trade. It's about dominance. It's the U.S. saying, we control the rules, and China saying, try us. It's economic power as a weapon. And when two superpowers use that kind of leverage, the rest of the world feels the tremor. Globalization doesn't die overnight, but it bends. It becomes more regional, more political, and a lot more expensive. For ordinary people, that means higher prices and uncertain futures. For leaders, it means rewriting alliances. For analysts, like us, it's a reminder. Every tariff, every handshake, every speech is part of the bigger chess game. And this one just changed the board.
So here we are, 3 big shifts in 1 week. A fragile peace, a symbolic victory, and an economic earthquake. Each story shows a different side of global power: war and survival, democracy and defiance, competition and control. These stories connect. A ceasefire changes oil prices. A Nobel Prize shifts political tone. A tariff shakes currencies. Everything moves together now. If you follow Talk with Misbah, you already know, I don't chase headlines, I chase meaning. Tell me which story hit you hardest. And if you want more real analysis without the noise, subscribe, share, and let's keep this conversation going. See you tomorrow. Stay sharp, stay kind.